right, so I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw someone made an arm wrestling tier list. So I Googled it and this popped up. So I'll put the link in the video description if anyone else wants to make a tier list and compare it to mine. But let's go. So I'm here with Emil Ekstrom. He's here from Sweden. You guys probably saw him in a bunch of my training videos. If you don't know who he is, go watch some videos. Anyways, so let's get started. Alex Cadorette, what do you think?
Definitely A. I mean, S is that higher than A?
S is the highest. So
okay, yeah, S then.
in my mind, S, I agree. I think S is anyone who's like top 10 in the world, or at least in their weight class. What do you think? Someone like, let's say, Babayev. Babayev, for example, for me, he's an S tier because I think in his weight class at 90 kilos, he's top 5, if not higher.
But if we're talking about super heavyweight, then he
Overall,
might be A.
If we're talking super heavyweight, I agree he might be A. But I think for the point of this list, let's talk about per their weight class.
Okay.
Yeah. So you agree? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. John Brzinc. This is an interesting one because obviously, if it's all time, he's here. I mean, no one's better than John. But right now, I don't think that he's competitive with these guys.
No. He's one level below.
Yeah, and
Probably.
he is pulling middleweight pullers and super heavyweight pullers. He's walking around at like 235, 240, I think. So I'm gonna say he's A tier at the moment. He might even be B tier.
No, I don't think B.
You think A?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Dave Chafee, for me, this is an easy S.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not put Dave Chafee at S? Of course, he just got beat by Gennady, but he just beat Cadorette, king of the table. What was that? Back in April?
I don't remember.
Pretty sure it was April.
Not too long.
Devin.
S.
S.
Yeah.
Easy. And I think Devin is better than Dave right now. What do you think? Who wins in a match?
Well, he won last, and I think he's been developing.
Yeah,
since.
I agree.
So,
especially if it's over 6 rounds, I think Dave can gas out. We've seen that he gasses out against Gennady, so I think he will as well. Hermes.
S.
I think S as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cadorette just beat Hermes. Cadorette then lost to Dave, and Hermes beat Gennady, and then Gennady just beat Dave. So it's a bit odd how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gennady
Styles make matches.
Styles do make matches, and I think Gennady was his first match back, so maybe he's still getting back to his previous form. Jeff Hale. Do you know much about Jeff?
Not much. I've seen you pull him in practice, and I've seen him pull WL.
Have you seen his arm war stuff too back in the day?
No.
No, okay. He did a lot of arm war stuff too.
But this is right now.
This is right now.
So, when's the last time we saw him?
So he just competed in U.S. Nationals. He took second to Corey Miller, and of course,
in his weight class
at 176. He also pulled 165 and won, I believe, but there wasn't really anyone in his class, if I remember. In my head, he's around C/B tier. In the U.S., he's A tier, but in the world, I think he's C or B.
Yeah, we haven't really seen him against any Easterns. Either.
Most recently, Corey Miller lost to Giannis Almalins pretty convincingly, and then Corey Miller just beat Jeff in a close match. So we know that he's at least a notch below Giannis, and I think Giannis is pretty up there. So what do you think?
Put him at B.
B.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think automatically Giannis has to be A tier, at least maybe even S tier. Do you know how he did at most recently at Worlds? Did he?
I have no idea.
I don't think
did
that he. I think he did. I could be wrong. I don't think that he won if he did, so I'm gonna put him A. I think that they're in his class. They're better pullers, but I don't know about you. I don't really keep up to date with all the lightweight pulling going on, and then who won Worlds and things like that. That's not my specialty. Jerry Cadorette, F tier. Justin Bishop. Justin Bishop is, I think, at 176. I think he's A tier. I mean, Justin Bishop has beat Giannis before. He beats just about everyone. But at 198, I think Justin Bishop drops to B or even C tier. What do you think?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Now, Justin Bishop did say recently that he's retired for the year. So I think it's easiest just to put him in no longer active. So, Krasamir. Krasamir just lost at East versus West to Arif, who won WAF. Before that, he lost to Corey West. He lost to Marcio in the WAL. To me, Krasy's kind of going a little downhill. I hate to say it. I'm a fan, but
yeah,
I think at one point he might have been S tier. I mean, he's 6'0" John Brzinc.
yes,
I'm thinking he's B.
I would say A.
A?
But if he keeps
going
the direction he is,
at his weight class, I think he's losing to Todd Hutchings. I think he's losing to John Brzinc.
if he pulls 105,
Yeah.
then I think he could be S.
You think that he would be or be competitive with John, Todd, Irakli, guys of that nature?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to say he's A.
Yeah.
In that case.
Let's put him in A.
In supers, I think he's here. But
yeah,
let's say he's pulling 105. I think he's A. Maybe S. Vitaly, S tier.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. We haven't seen too much of him. Obviously, he had his match with Krazy. That was a mismatch. Everyone knew that. To me, Vitaly is third in the world. I think Devin is second. But I think you could argue he's second. We haven't seen him pull.
Second.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But who has he beaten? You know? I think a lot of people based him being second off of a really close match with Levon. But he hasn't beaten Dave or Alex or Hermes or any of the top guys, and Devin has only beat Dave out of these top guys. So I think it's hard to say. I think it could go either way. That's a match I'd like to see regardless of how his match goes with Levon. I still think Vitaly Devin is interesting. Levon, easy S tier. He's in the tier of his own right now. You agree?
Yeah.
First. And this is all right-handed.
Looks.
Just for the record, we're not factoring left really, right? No, okay.
Let's just focus on right.
Max Taubin. You know Max.
I know Max.
You pulled Max back in, 2019?
Yeah.
I think the match went something like ready, go, and it was over. So.
Well. F is it low?
I wouldn't put him F. I'd put him maybe E tier, D tier.
Yeah.
At a world level, he's not competitive. At a state level, he's pretty competitive. At a national level, he's all right. I think E, maybe D, but I'm gonna say E.
Yeah.
You think that's too low? You
That's
think
fair.
D is?
It's hard to say. Who has he pulled last? Anyone? That you can
Back in
compare?
October, he beat Artem. It was close, left-handed.
It was close.
Right-handed, he loses to Artem. In Florida, he loses to Artem, Noel, Brandon, Austin. All local Florida guys. So I'm gonna say E tier, realistically. Marcio has been looking really good. I think he just beat Tobias, your boy Tobias. He beat him 3-2. It was a really good match.
Really close match.
Really close match.
Yeah.
When Marcio and Krazy pulled, Marcio beat Krazy as well. So I think he has to fit into the A tier. And he's someone else who pulls 105. So
Right.
105, these two have pulled. Marcio beat him. It was 2019, so it's been a while. But on top of that, just beating Tobias, I think that says that he's still in that range. Do you agree?
Yeah.
What do you think about Matt Mask?
I want to say A, but definitely not S.
Definitely not S. A. So how do you think he does against the likes of John, Marcio, and Krazy?
I think he would probably lose to John.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would be an interesting match to see him against Krazy.
Okay, so maybe high B, low A. In that range. I agree. Matt had a very competitive match with Tim Brezhnev where he lost 4-2, but it was a good match. Before that, of course, he went and he lost to Hermes, where he lost 3-1. He still got a round on Hermes. Anyone that gets a round off of someone who's top 10 in the world, I think you have to start considering them A. So we'll stick with that. Michael Todd. Michael's interesting because, at some point, I think most people would have said S, no problem. Yeah. But, we just saw him lose to Revis, who hadn't competed in 4 years. And before that, he lost to Gennady, which, Gennady is top 10 in the world. Before that, Devin beat him pretty seriously. I don't think that he's S tier anymore. I think that he's at the top of A tier.
Put him A.
You agree? Yeah. Okay. Mike Aiello. Do you know much about Mike?
I've seen you pull him. I've seen him in WAL.
Okay.
Not much more than that.
So he pulled in Moldova. Do you remember when there was a big Moldova tournament? I think it was 2019. I could be wrong. He did decent. He got some wins on some Europeans. He didn't place in the top, but I think he showed that he was at least competitive-ish with Europeans.
Super heavy.
And super heavies. He's beaten Todd Hutchings. He's beaten Tim Brezhnev. He beat Don Underwood. He's beaten a lot of really good guys. I don't think he's world level. He's at the top of national level. I think he's B tier as well. Okay. Mike Solaris. Mike Solaris, I haven't seen him pull in a few years. I haven't seen anything from him since the WAL. Have you?
No.
I'm gonna say no longer active. Nick Zeno.
For now, yeah.
Nick Zeno has a win on Michael Todd in the WAL. When he was in the WAL, he was stout. I think he took second.
1 round, or?
Yeah, he lost 3-1 to Michael in the finals. Since then, he's gone downhill a little bit, I think. Mike Aiello has beaten him in their last 2 super matches, and then I'm 3-0 against him. So I'm gonna say maybe C tier. You think? I still think that he's nationally capable of being competitive. Definitely not world. Definitely local competition. So I think that's fine. Prudnik, I say S tier.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes.
Prudnik and Babayev had a really good match in the top 8. Prudnik who did he just beat at East versus West? Why am I forgetting? Matt Mask.
Matt Mask.
Yeah, with a pretty easy match, I would say.
He was confident.
Before that, Prudnik beat Morozov, which Morozov's been looking really strong as well.
Right hand?
Yeah, that was right hand that he beat Morozov. So I think that's a good
level.
level. Yeah, I think so. Ron Bath. Ron lost to Zurab in a really close match. You remember that at the last East versus West?
That's a good hook match.
It was a really good hook match, really entertaining. If you haven't watched that, go over to Engin's channel. It's on there. I don't think that he's here like he was back in the day. And I don't think that he's here. I think he'll lose to Matt. I think he'll lose to Krasamir.
I think I could have a war with Mike Aiello.
Yes, I agree. I think he's around this range.
Yeah.
B tier. I have a match coming up, by the way, July 23rd against Ron Bath. So, Ron, get ready. I'm coming for you. Ruston Babayev. In his weight class, I think it's S tier.
I don't remember last time I saw him pull.
That's true. When is the last time he pulled? I think it was top 8, like 2019. So I'm going to say no longer active. Yeah. RVJ just lost to Sasho. In the U.S., he doesn't really lose, though. So I think Sasho is in his class. I think he's an S tier guy. I think that Rob is more of an A tier guy.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like I'm being like I'm putting Americans too high. You know what I mean? Just because they're American.
Like you're biased.
Yeah.
Who else is in his weight class? Like top guys.
Top guys in his weight class. Sasho, Babayev, if he can still pull 90. I don't know if he still pulls 90. Ruston Babayev.
You think those guys will beat him?
I think that they will.
Well, I think you say then.
Yeah. Ryan Bowen. So, Ryan lost to Lachlan, but he beats pretty much everyone else in Australia, at least in his class. I don't know. I don't think that he's world level yet. I don't think he's RVJ level. I think he's somewhere high C, low B. Do you think?
Yeah.
What would you say?
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. We haven't seen enough international pulling from him.
No.
I'm going to leave him C tier for now. With the potential that he's as high as B. I think.
That's fair.
Sam Harris, current WAL hammer holder. He's pulled a couple tournaments in the U.S. Nothing serious. He's won everything. I think in his weight class. If I remember correctly, he lost it to Giannis. But he beats Jeff. So, to me, that puts him at the highest B or at the lowest A. What do you think?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I haven't seen him much.
Him and Jeff are close, so I'm going to put him there. Storm, I'm going to say no longer active. I don't know if you've seen Storm. Storm beat Jordan Sill in the WAL, and then he took a round off of RVJ, I believe, as well. He beat Justin Bishop. He's beaten a lot of guys. He's really good. He's better on the left. Tim Bresnan. Tim Bresnan's another guy where I think at one point in time he was S, but I don't think he's there anymore. He beat Matt.
Yeah.
Do you think he's S? He lost to Derek Smith. You know, just to give you an idea. I don't think Derek Smith is S, so I think that.
You don't think he's S?
No.
Well, that puts him in A.
Because Derek Smith is someone who's not top 10 in the world. You know, I think Tim goes somewhere around here. Todd Hutchings. I think Todd Hutchings might be top 10 in the world.
He might.
I think he might be.
Yeah.
And in 105?
105.
I mean, he might be the man.
Yeah.
Like,
actually.
He might. Him and Prudnik are pulling at 107. I think that'll tell us a lot. If he's able to beat Prudnik, I don't think anyone can debate that he's top 10 in the world.
No.
Yeah. I almost cracked that guy. Just this much more. Hey, this much more. I really enjoyed watching Todd beat Irakli in the fashion that he did. It made me feel like good about myself. We were watching it and I'm like, hey, I almost did that good. Like, that's not bad. That's not bad. Tony Katowski, are you familiar with him?
Not too much.
Okay. He's not active anymore, so I'm going to put him here. Travis Bajent.
Not active, right?
I mean, technically he pulled Brandon Elsesser left-handed.
Oh.
And lost. So, if I'm being honest, I'm going to put him no longer active, but if he hasn't improved since October when he lost to Brandon Elsesser, he's like C tier maybe. But I'm not going to do that to him. Obviously, at one point he was S tier. He beat Alexei Vovoda. He's beaten John Brzinc. He's beat Richard Lubke. He's just not right now. Trubin. When's the last time Trubin pulled? Didn't he have a pec injury?
I don't know anything about that.
No?
No.
I don't think he's active anymore. If he was, I think he's S tier. But I don't think that he's active. So, Wagner. What do you think of Wagner?
Not very convinced with him.
Not very convinced?
No, maybe B.
B?
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I agree. Wagner's left. I mean, he gave Hermes a decent match. We're basing it off of right-handed, right? But he only pulls left. So I feel like for him, we have to say left. I think B is fine. He's entertaining. That's for sure. Not a very good arm wrestler. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I thought I lost it all. Alan Guerrero, you're not familiar with, I assume?
I know the name, but...
He pulled Bowen and lost to Bowen 3-2, I think. Maybe 3-1. So I think he has to go under Bowen. But he's in the same tier. It was close. So you can't say that they're in a different tier, I think. Ian Carnegie. Have you seen Ian Carnegie? Mike Aiello walked through him in the WAL. So, again, I think he's here, this range. I'm going to put him here. Dimitri Silayev. You should be familiar with Dimitri.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think
Did
of
he
him?
commit a crime or something?
Yeah, he got put.
Someone?
He got robbed. He robbed someone.
Yeah.
He got put in jail. He's out of jail now.
So he's not active.
Well, I think he's been active recently enough.
Yeah.
He pulled Zloty against Krasi, and Krasi beat him. Wait, Krasi beat him on the left and lost on the right, I think. Or vice versa.
Tobias had a match with him, too.
Tobias had a match with him. That was on the left.
Zloty.
Yeah. So I think he's A tier.
Yeah.
I think so. Khaled. What do you think of Khaled? Have you watched any of his matches?
I have.
Okay, so obviously he just beat Larry. What did he beat Larry? 5-1, I think.
It doesn't tell me very much, though.
It doesn't. I think Khaled realistically is somewhere around this range.
C or D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels disrespectful to put Khaled on the same level as Nick Zena and Ryan Bowen and stuff. So I'm going to put him D tier, actually. You good with that?
I'm okay.
Schoolboy. Schoolboy's interesting.
Yeah. He won a Junior 21 World Championship.
Yes, on the right.
And super heavy.
And super heavy, he did win that. That was last year.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive. He also beat Larry Wheels in a super match and Herman Stevens. I think he's
How's
beat
their
there.
match? His and Herman's match.
Herman was not supposed to pull. Herman pulled him with 2 days' notice, basically. Evan was supposed to be pulling Schoolboy, which, by the way, Emil has a match with Evan June 4th when I pull Brendan, so be ready for that. But Herman had 2 days' notice because Evan got tested for COVID as he was trying to fly. He tested positive, couldn't make it. Herman was going to be there anyways, so Herman stepped in.
Yeah.
So.
And how'd they do?
It was not a trained Herman at all. Herman lost 3-1. He did take a round. So, like I said, I think he's around this range.
Yeah, I'd say B then.
B?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely under 21. He's S tier, right? But
yeah,
I think that's too niche of a category to put someone S tier. Lachlan. What do you think of Lachlan?
He had a match with
Hutchings.
Yep.
So he smashed Ryan pretty easily. So I think he has to be at least B over Ryan. Todd Hutchings, he slowed down. He made him work a little bit more than Jordan Tsonev did. I think that he's B tier.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Larry Wheels, I would say he's E tier.
E?
Yeah.
What do you think he would do against Khalid?
Khalid just beat him 5-1 in a super match.
Doesn't that put them in the same category? Kind of.
Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, possibly. Larry has a really strong hook. Like, I went over to Dubai and I pulled with him a little. I let him hook, and he is strong in the hook. But the thing is he doesn't have table IQ. He doesn't have ready go experience. He doesn't have a lot of the bits and pieces you need to be an arm wrestler. I think that he loses to everyone above him on this list. So that's why I think that he has to be somewhere around E tier.
Yeah.
With the possibility, of course,
he's got huge potential.
Huge potential. I mean, who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, he's S tier. Maybe he's a competitive in the world. It's a matter of when it clicks for him. Has to click. We'll save me for last. Zoliev, one of the top competitors in his weight class. At 90, I still think he loses to guys like right now. Not all time, because Zoliev all time, S tier. Right now, I still think he loses to guys like if Ruston was active. I still think he loses to maybe Sasho, to maybe someone like Irakli if Irakli made 90. I think he loses to Babayev. I think he's A tier. And he did just lose to John Brzinc as well.
He did.
Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know who this guy is. It's hard to tell from this picture, so I apologize for not including this guy. I'm sorry. All right. What about me? Let me make an argument for myself, right? I beat Nick Zena. He's on this list. I beat Mike Aiello. He's on this list. I had a good match with Todd and John. They both beat me. So that's about where I sit. What do you think?
I think you could be A tier.
You think?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Possibly.
I
if you take Tim Brezhnev, maybe you could beat him.
I think genuinely, that I can give these three a good match. Matt, Tim, and
Krasamir. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Marcio. I think that I can give those guys a good match, but I haven't yet.
You gave Todd Hutchings a good match.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's ass. In 105.
Yeah. Oh, maybe even in the world. Maybe he's top 10 in the world, period.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wouldn't feel too guilty of putting myself at the top of B. Maybe I'm as good as A.
Maybe.
But I think it's hard to know. I think I'll leave myself there because I haven't done it yet. So I don't want to speculate saying, like, maybe I can give those guys a good match, and then the match happens, and then they 6-0 me, and then I'm like, well, I was wrong, right? So at least here, like, I know I can beat Mike. We're going to find out if I can beat Ron. I'm pulling him July 23rd, like I said. I beat Nick. So I think that this is about good. I'm just going to set this guy here because I don't know who he is. What do you think? Any changes looking at this list?
It's kind of funny. Only one guy in the F tier.
I mean, I think he belongs there. If anyone disagrees, then you're wrong. It's pretty simple. Irrelevant.
Oh, I thought you put L.
So, anyways, guys, I think that wraps up the video. If you disagree, if you agree, make sure you comment down below. What would you change? What would you keep the same? Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And, yeah, thanks, guys.